much like most of you, I love carbs. Bread, pasta, pizza, anything. So what if I told you there was a healthy alternative to one of the most popular carbs, pasta? Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make spaghetti squash. There are dozens upon dozens of different ways to make spaghetti squash, but I'm going to show you a recipe I found on damndelicious.net. Spaghetti squash is one of my favorite foods, and it's a perfect pasta substitute. I've made it multiple times and researched many different recipes on how to make the perfect spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash contains many nutrients such as folic acid and potassium, and it is also low in calories as well. And it is low in carbs, like I stated before. So the order of this demonstration is going to be the ingredients and materials that will make the spaghetti squash, and then I will go into cooking the squash, and then I will go into preparing the squash to be eaten. So first, I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like. When you go look for a squash at the store, it's a big yellow thing, and it will say spaghetti squash on the tag, like this. So first I'm going to explain what materials and ingredients are needed for this demonstration. The materials you will need are an oven mitts, a fork, a serving spoon, a sharp knife, a large pan or sheet pan or baking sheet, and then a topping of your choice. I'm going to be using this tomato basil pasta sauce from Kroger for mine. And then I like to season mine with garlic powder, ground pepper, and salt. So, now I'm going to show you step by step how to make this spaghetti squash. So the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat the oven to 375 degrees, which I've already done, so it's warmed up and ready for the squash to go in. I also already cut the spaghetti squash in half, because you were supposed to wash it and then cut it in half, and it's really hard to cut it in half. So you cut it in half like this. And then you're going to have to take each half. If you look at the inside, it's a lot like the inside of a pumpkin. There's like pumpkin seeds in it that you can actually throw in the oven like you would make pumpkin seeds. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this serving spoon, and it gets really messy, but you're going to want to scoop all of this out of the squash. So it looks like this, and it's all empty on the inside. And you're going to want to do that to both halves of the squash. You gotta make sure you get everything out of there. So there's what that one looks like. The next thing you're going to want to do, so the spaghetti squash gets a little tender, you're going to want to fill your baking pan with about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water. So after you do that, you're going to then want to season your spaghetti squash with whatever seasonings that you picked. It doesn't really matter, it just depends on what you like to taste. Then you're going to place the spaghetti squash halves face down in the pan, like so. So then you are ready to put it in the oven, and it looks like this, with a little bit of water on the bottom. So then you are going to place the spaghetti squash in the oven. You're going to place the spaghetti squash in the oven for about 35 to 45 minutes. It's a good idea to check the spaghetti squash just to make sure that it is tender on the inside. So once it gets closer to about 35-40 minutes, then you can pull it out and take a fork and just see if it's tender enough. and if it is, then you can pull it out. And after you pull it out, you have to let it cool for 10 minutes. So after you have removed the spaghetti squash from the oven in about the time frame of 35 to 45 minutes and pulled it out and see if it's tender enough, you let it cool for 10 minutes, which I have already done. It's still a little hot, but now I'm going to show you how to prepare the spaghetti squash to be eaten. So, the finished product looks like this, and what you just do is you just go through and scrape the spaghetti squash like so, and it'll come out with these strands that actually look like spaghetti. As you can see, you just scrape it like this, and then get a bowl and scrape the squash into the bowl. And then you take your topping, which, as I said before, mine is the tomato and basil marinara sauce from Kroger. Put on however much you want. And then here's your finished product for spaghetti squash. So in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed my demonstration and are ready to make it yourself. You can experiment with the many different types and ways to make spaghetti squash. All you have to do is find the recipe you like. For example, whenever I Google spaghetti squash, I generate a hit from the website www.thekitchen.com, which says to preheat the oven anywhere from 400 to 450 degrees and cook the squash to 30 to 40 minutes. When I use the recipe from damndelicious.net, it actually took a little bit longer to make the spaghetti squash, so I think turning the oven up a little bit is a better way to cook it. It'll cook a lot faster. So, as you can see, there are many different ways that can be researched to make squash. It's a very versatile food, and you can make it to suit your liking. Thank you for watching my demonstration speech.